Okay, so my house is empty today and all my plans with my friends fell through, so you know what that means. It's time to... So as you can see, quite a lot of DVDs to organize. I got 2 shelves. It should be enough space. Half this stuff was up at my apartment, half of it stayed down here, but all of it needs to come off the shelves so that I can put it back on in a way that actually makes sense and I can actually, like, use and looks nice. Alright, there it all is. All of the DVDs. So now comes the tough part, comes deciding how they're gonna go on the shelf. For a while, I was a proponent of sorting by director last name. That's how I always sorted my DVDs because it looks really nice. And aesthetically, I think there's kind of no argument against that. It looks really nice. Why would I put Hotel by the River and Claire's Camera on opposite ends of the bookshelf? Because they're both Hong Sang-soo movies, and so they belong together. In my mind, they are a pair. And the issue with that is threefold. It's organization, it's location, and it's physically knowing where to put everything. I'll show you what I mean, because I think it'll be easier to see. So if I'm looking for, Claire's Camera, I'm looking on my shelf for Claire's Camera, and I have to do the mental math of either, looking for the H section for Hong Sang-soo, or looking for the C section for Claire's Camera. And then it becomes the same thing, trying to put it back, remembering which section it goes into. Now, this is not a huge issue for me, because no matter which way that I sort my DVDs, I always use the same method of putting them back, which is, once I take them out, I look for the gap that has been left by the missing DVD, and I put the DVD back. So that leaves the other 2 issues. The other big one is putting stuff back like I'm doing now. Trying to figure that out is very difficult, much harder than the name. If it's the name, then I put it where it belongs. D, Day He Arrives. A, Adventures of Prince Ahmed. S, Swiss Army Man. And I don't have to worry about looking up the names of directors who are maybe lesser known. I don't know who directed Godzilla 1984. I'd have to look in the back. And if I'm trying to, reorganize something, move the DVDs to a new location, put something new on the shelf, I have to worry about all this stuff now. And that kind of dovetails into the actual issue with sorting by director name, which is that sorting by director name makes no sense for some directors. For example, here I have the new released Parasite Blu-ray from Criterion. Very nice. Has the poster on the inside. It's really just the same poster on both sides. I don't really know what's up with that. But the issue becomes, how do I sort this? Do I sort it under B for Bong, or J for Junho, or H for Ho? Because the direction that those names go in change on whether you're speaking in an English-speaking country or a Korean-speaking country, and if it's written or spoken. All those extra considerations, all those extra cultural contexts around the film make sorting it really difficult. Now, the upside to all of this is that I have a horrible brain condition which causes me to love looking at and sorting DVDs. So the benefit of this is I can put all of these DVDs, all of these Blu-rays, everything here, I can put it on the shelf, sorted by title, and if in a week I don't like it, I'll just resort them. And I'll have fun. I will have fun the entire time doing that. Because I'm a sick fuck.
So, really the reason that I'm doing this, well, there's a lot of reasons that I'm doing this. The main one is that I'm moving back home for the foreseeable future, and I wanted my room to be nice, which it hasn't been nice in a while. But the reason that I wanted to do that is because I've been thinking a lot about the spaces that I inhabit. My apartment, I put no effort into my apartment. I put no effort into making it a space that I wanted to live in. There were no posters on the walls, really. I didn't have anything on the shelves. I didn't have anything to display, really. I had some, printouts taped to my wall, but that was kind of it. When you're living in a space that you're already treating like, hey, I'm only going to be here, a couple weeks until I go somewhere else for a second. Just fuck it. It's just a room. It's just a place for me to inhabit. It's only an issue for now. And that's kind of a philosophy that I developed in filmmaking, which is really good when you're a filmmaker or an artist, is it's good enough. And that's kind of like, this defense mechanism against hyper-perfectionism. You can just be like, it's fine, it's good enough, just move on, we got it. And you have to be able to roll with those punches when you're working on a film or an art piece. Just accept the mistakes, and in the end, you get the film, right? And at the very least, when you're working on a film, in the end, you do get the film. You get something that you can watch, that you worked on, and even if you were uncomfortable, even if you were unhappy, and that doesn't mean that you should be uncomfortable or unhappy when you're working on a film, it just means that even if you are, you at the very least get a final product out of it. The issue is that when you take that philosophy to everything, to like your whole life and everything that you're doing, it's really difficult to ever put any effort into anything around you. Because, hey, yeah, sure, it depresses me to be in this room, and yeah, sure, having all my clothes piled on the floor means that it's difficult for me to move around, and yeah, I rely on open spaces to move around in order to, like, process emotions and thoughts that are happening to me, but if I'm uncomfortable for a little bit, so what? It isn't a big deal. And the issue with that is just that, there's no film that I am doing that for. There's no final project. That's just my life. That's just who I am. So the end result would be, I get to the end of living in that apartment, and I say, well, that sucked. And that's what happened.
I put you in my shelf.
All right, I guess there's really no way to start this than to just start. Let's go A Brighter Summer Day. That's B. That gets put way up there. Chinese Portrait. That's C. American Tail. A. I think this is the only bookshelf where American Tail and A Brighter Summer Day will be right next to each other. Oh, Burning Palms! Now this I haven't seen this. My partner got this for me as a joke from a 99-cent store, but the reason that I'm keeping it around is A, because I'm just fascinated with movies that nobody has ever heard of or seen, but B, because of the critic's review quote on the back. This is from BeyondHollywood.com, and this is the quote that they're putting like on the cover. They want you to know this. This is what they think is really gonna reel you in. It's like Crash, but with crazy and perverted people. Incredible. I stand corrected. Burning Palms is going next to A Brighter Summer Day. Son of White Mare. Now this one's actually kind of interesting. It's the new 4K restoration by Arboros Films. It's the most recent addition to my bookshelf, and it opens in the back with a little hinge the same way that the Wong Kar-wai collection does. If you have the Wong Kar-wai collection, then you know what I'm talking about. Very weird. It just has a normal thing in it though, with a collectible fold out of a bunch of drawings of the characters. Very nice. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but I am very excited because I actually got to see this restoration at a film festival, and that was gorgeous.
So, I've been thinking, because of this, about how I interact with the spaces around me. And I mean every kind of space. Emotional spaces, physical spaces, bodily spaces, and trying to figure out a way to make changes that will lead to those spaces being nicer for me to live in. So, I like DVDs. I'm gonna put up all my DVDs. I like my books. I'm gonna organize my books. And this is the most crucial part, I like stupid anime films, and I'm gonna put up posters for stupid anime films. And I think that, like, as much as I try not to care what people think of me, I do care a lot about what people think of me. So I worry about, like, oh, is it cringe to have, X thing on my shelf? Is it cringe to, like, think this way or talk this way and to have these things around? And the reality is that if it makes interacting with my space more enjoyable, I don't care if it's cringe, or at the very least I shouldn't care if it's cringe. So I put up, Urusei Yatsura art. That show's super cringe, but I like it, and I like the aesthetics, and I like interacting with it, and it makes my life better just to be in a space that has stuff that I like in it. I was thinking about this ProZD video where he's reading off all these comments of people making fun of him for being super into One Piece, because like he has a whole wall that's covered in One Piece posters. And I was thinking, this dude has it made. He decided that he wanted his room to be full of artwork of one of his favorite shows, and now it is. He just put it up, and that's awesome. I don't know, I feel like people worry too much about being judged when it comes to like immediate tactile experiences. And this to me is my version of the ProZD One Piece wall. It's way too many DVDs that I don't need, that I spend all of my disposable, and if I'm honest, non-disposable income on.
I have never watched this movie, and I don't know why I own it, but I have always wanted to because it just seems like the weirdest, most offbeat animated film I've seen in years, probably, certainly produced in America, and I don't know, it seems good. Why haven't I watched this? I'll get around to it as soon as I finish watching Twin Peaks and finish watching all the Michelle Haneke films I haven't seen, and finish watching all the Simon Liang films I haven't seen, and finish watching all of the Pichapong Veersethical movies I haven't seen, and watch all the Francis Ford Coppola movies that I need to catch up on because I just haven't gotten around to it. And when I finally, after years, like almost a decade of having seen not the last 2 episodes, actually watch the ending of Cowboy Bebop. So once I'm done with all of that, top of the list. This movie is one of the worst movies I have ever seen, and it's fascinating. It's basically, me and my family were tricked, as I think everyone else who watched this movie were, into thinking that it was like a cool reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. It isn't. It's terrible. Please find it and watch it if you can. The most insane thing about that movie is that it was clearly made for like $2, but it has this really high budget, like cyberpunk Tin Man costume that is in the middle of the movie, and like is not really explained. Like there isn't like a reason for it to be there. It just kind of shows up, which is just very in the spirit of that movie. The best, so bad that it's good movie of all time. Incredible watch. If you're gonna watch a movie with people, let it be Fire and Ice. And make sure that all of you are vaccinated. And then watch Fire and Ice. Because you should do that. And you should also not die. Those are the 2 most important things.
When throbbing on its stem, each flower sheds its
perfume. The Wind Rises. A beautiful artistic achievement, one of the best of Miyazaki's career, a beautiful love letter and hate letter to art making and to airplanes and all of his obsessions. And you know what it's going right next to?
So all this to say, emotionally, physically, all other ways, I've been feeling frustrated with the way that things went the last couple months. And I want to change that. I want to craft experiences for myself that I find pleasurable, instead of just tolerating the stuff that I have around me while it exists. And with that comes the want to make stuff. I want to make more stuff. I think back to when I have been the happiest, and when I have been the happiest is when I have been making a lot of stuff. First semester of my college, my class had to make a film a week. You had to make or if it wasn't a film, like a little film project. And I was so happy then because I was making stuff all the time and then just finishing things. I love finishing things. And you can't be super precious or perfectionist about it. You have to just let it happen. Let it all come tumbling out and keep moving forward, and you learn so much. I look at where I was artistically before that and where I was artistically after that, and I improved so much. I mean, how can you not improve when you're making a frickin' film a week? So I think that, for me, I'm going to get less precious with the stuff that I'm making, more precious with the stuff that I'm consuming, and try and make a bunch of weird stuff, as much weird stuff as possible.
Okay. That's it. That's all. DVDs, all sorted.
Now I know what you're thinking. Are you done organizing all the stupid things that you've accumulated in your room? Fat chance! We got all these frickin' comics over here that I gotta put in the right place now. My dark deeds are never finished. I found these pink glasses. These are pretty wacky. These are pretty kooky. I feel like if I wore these to the office, everyone would be like, oh, they're so fun. Every time that I try to make something like this, you know, a goofy little one-off thing just to practice, I always end up tossing it and I never finish it. There's like at least a dozen videos like this, like weird top 10 lists and ranking videos and tier list videos that like I make for fun, and I just never end up getting around to them or never get around to finishing them because I get self-conscious and I'm like, you know, I don't want to put something out like this. It's lazy. It's this. It's that. And I think ultimately the experience you get out of making something is way more valuable than, you know, the perceived shame of releasing something that you're unhappy with. So my goal in the coming couple months is to make more smaller things and also cook more. I've been cooking and also clean my room more, and also get cute outfits that I can put on, and also get better at makeup because I like makeup and I don't like how bad I am at it right now. So once I get around to all that stuff and I finish it all, I can finally sit down and watch my entire high school is sinking into the ocean. That's when it'll happen. After that, it's top of the list. Alright, that's all I had to say. Get out of my fucking room. Stop being in here. I hate you. Fuck you. Bitch. I can't end the video like that.